Hard not to notice the fact that it's storming outside. But that... Yeah, that's something worse. There's a worse force of nature out there. Something that can only be described as... a monster. I'm gonna catch it. So I've turned to the old knowledge of magic so that I might possess it. I'm just not having any luck with it. I only know what I know about magic thanks to a goth family member. I was just about to call her up and ask her what I'm doing wrong. Hello, cousin. I'm glad you picked up.
Hello, cousin. It's been a little while. Happy Halloween. Perfect time of year to use these things, but, you know most people just text these days, right? Wait, where are you?
In a place where I don't have any signal. Also a place where there's a monster outside.
Holy crap, are you safe?
About as safe as any other trailer park. Look, I think I can catch the thing.
And how do you think you're... Wait a second! Are you doing magic? You haven't done any of that since the 3rd grade! Oh, now I see why you called.
Will you help me, please?
Of course I will! But before you read your spell to me, there are a few things I can tell that you're already doing wrong. You should be wearing your safety glasses.
I'm wearing my safety glasses.
Now put on your wizard robe.
I'm wearing my wizard robe.
Put on your wizard hat.
I have to do that?
Dan, you're going to need all the stat boost you can get.
But it looks dumb, Morgana.
Dan!
I put on my robe and wizard hat. So I'm looking to catch this monster, and I think my best chance is to possess it. I know it sounds a bit forward, but there are a bunch of different games that use possessing objects or people, and some of these games are really weird and unique, while all of them are sort of doing the same thing. There are a few various games that I'm looking at as ingredients for my special endeavor. Maken X on the Dreamcast is a first-person action game developed by Atlas.
Oh, that's a nice name.
It has a really detailed story, one with multiple endings depending on your actions. But to keep it brief, scientists developed this artificial being called Maken. Maken becomes a tool to combat a world threat as it has the ability to brainjack its host, or BJ for short. Levels take place all over the world, again, pending your choices in what characters you possess and other things you do. Speaking of characters, the enemies are off the charts weird. Gatling gun troopers, gangster mothmen, and these infinite grenade-throwing jerks. It made for some fun gameplay, largely centered around learning enemy patterns so you know when to dodge and strike. It had its time where the AI was stupid, but it's a cool game. Driver San Francisco. It follows this cop named John Tanner. He gets into an accident pursuing this bad guy and ends up in the hospital in a coma. He seemingly wakes up like everything is fine, but things take a turn for the weird because all of a sudden, he starts floating above the city and realizes that he can possess anybody driving a car. The game uses this ability not just for gameplay opportunities, but also to weave a narrative that I wasn't expecting from what I thought was just going to kind of be a standard licensed car driving sim fare. There's all these missions with all these unique characters and situations that you're just throwing yourself into. A couple favorite examples are taking over someone during a driving lesson and scaring the heck out of your instructor.
We'll see who needs new pants.
This isn't funny, Craig. Let's just slow down and whoa, whoa, whoa!
Another is proving to your Final Fantasy cosplaying buddy that you're not completely insane.
Wait a couple minutes, then punch me in the face as hard as you can.
This is such a cool game from Ubisoft. From the setting of San Francisco, all the unique characters with voice acting and the story, I'm happy to play this one. Hey, do you have any essence of near-death experience you could send over?
No need to worry. That's an easy ingredient to substitute.
I got the bomb hot sauce?
Yeah, that'll literally do the same thing.
Oh, okay, great. Goetia. Not every game has to be actiony, or even about possessing living things, and this game does just that. In this incredibly gothic atmosphere-laden adventure game, your character, Abigail, awakens as a spirit out of nowhere, finding the manor that she lived in uninhabited. Well, except for maybe the giant bird monster in the attic. Turns out her family was into some pretty weird mystical stuff. I mean, no one is around to tell me that. Just an assumption based off the notes with the weird drawings laying around and the general decor. when can I buy this in Animal Crossing? In this game, you possess different objects to find clues, solve puzzles, and access new areas. Not just in our house, but other places you can travel to as the story goes on. Yeah, that's quite the way to be greeted at a game's title screen. Omicron is a game that directly addresses you, the player, as someone that has to get sucked into the city and world of Omicron because there's no time to explain. Your soul starts up possessing this guy's body, but pending your choices, who you are in what place, and how you do in fights, you take over other people's bodies to investigate and fight an ongoing danger in the city. This game tries a little bit of everything. It's largely an adventure style of game, but it also dips into first-person shooter and fighting. The last two which leave something to be desired. But like I said, it's mostly adventure game, and I got really invested in the story. And to get to a big reason why someone would want to check this game out, it famously has the late great David Bowie doing music and showing up in the game. He even has a show that he does inside this bar. But I can't play that part. Look, I'm not a soul collecting guy, I'm more of an amiibo collecting guy. What can I use here instead?
How many amiibo do you have, anyway?
Not enough.
You can just use a few hot dogs. So I've eaten a few souls, okay?
I don't have time to get into this. Jeez, this title screen too. Messiah released in the year 2000 because, of course it did. Messiah takes place in a future where human manipulation and cruelty has reached a level bad enough that God has to send an angel named Bob to work on it.
I'm sending you to Earth. It's in sad shape, and I'm hoping you might straighten it up a little.
I'd rather not.
When I think about possession in games, this is the type of gameplay I imagine first. Carefully taking over certain kinds of people to be able to control specific mechanisms to progress. You can't just hop in and out of bodies easily most of the time. You often have to be kind of stealthy about it. You have improved mobility, which ties into some light platforming at times when not possessing someone. Your wings don't give you flight, just longer jumps. You're also a lot weaker and can be taken out easy when not in a body, even on the easiest difficulty. While this game projects a frightful future, it certainly isn't as scary as Siren. This is another game that isn't as cut and dry when it comes to possession. But first, holy cow, this game is scary for me. This horror PS2 game takes place in a remote mountain village somewhere in Japan, and follows a bunch of different characters that you play as over the span of several days. And those several days are the result of supernatural stuff that went real south. The different characters all have various situations and motivations, and really fascinating facial animations. Really, the graphics nail the horror atmosphere, but the way they did these characters' faces in-game is so intriguing to me. One thing that all the player characters have in common is that they're stuck navigating through some dark terrain while wretched zombie-like people are out to end them. The game largely wants you to avoid them, as more often than not, your character's defenseless against them anyways, making you resort to sneaking or even just running. However, to aid with that leads into the other thing that they all have in common, and it's not BJ, but SJ, Sightjack. With the press of L2 on the controller, your screen goes static, and by rotating the left stick slowly like turning a dial on a radio, if you're close enough to an enemy, you'll be able to see what they see. Doing this helps you get around them, or maybe helps you get the jump on them if you manage to pick up whatever lousy excuse for a weapon you manage to find. Still, even with that, this is a difficult game, but this 70-year-old grandpa eats difficult with his bran flakes every morning for breakfast. Yeah, you show him what for, old man! You get on after me! Man, I hate scary stuff. There's no way I'm gonna be doing this a second time.
Dan, I didn't think to ask this earlier, so this might not be the best time to ask, but I just saw the book you're using. What spell tome have you been using this entire time for this? Dan, no.
It's the most dark mythical text I had.
This isn't gonna work, dude.
You mean all my work up to this point has been for nothing?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, that explains why it smells like coconutty hot dog water in here. I'm a terrible wizard, Morgana. That's why I gave this stuff up in the 3rd grade. I will never catch that monster.
Don't be upset, cousin. You've clearly put a lot of thought into your conjuration. I'm sure what you've got sitting in front of you right now will make a perfect soup base for an orc out there somewhere.
You think so, huh?
I do. Don't you worry. That's nothing this sorceress can't fix.
What on earth? I didn't think I got any signal out here. It's an email from you with an attachment?
It's a spell ebook?
They make spell books into ebooks?
Wow, welcome to the modern age, Fred Flintstone.
Yay, I can do this! I'll start this over and tell you about the last 2 inspirations that made me want to try this magic to get this monster. Geist. Geist is one of the few rated M games that Nintendo directly had a hand in bringing to life. The protagonist in this one is another guy named John Raimi. He gets captured and gets placed into a machine with a lot of big hoops that separates his spirit from his body. They trap his ghost into a simulator so that he can become some kind of combat poltergeist, but a creepy ghost girl breaks him out. She shows him the ropes of being a ghost, and together you run around the facility to save people and to stop the organization that trapped you here. In this game, you're able to possess a lot of different things, living or inanimate. It's adventure game-like in the sense that you float or walk around examining different things to see what can be done. When you take over an object, sometimes you amusingly have the perspective of being inside the object. Hey guy, I'm your computer. Stop all the downloading. Taking over living things is pretty unique too. The subject has to be afraid first before you can possess them. So there's often an element of finding what you can use in a room to make that happen. Okay, well finally just one last ingredient. Yeah, I don't really need to say much about this, as this game's reputation precedes itself. I was there to pick it up at midnight and made a slab of ribs with it. Ooh yeah! Cappy captures objects and enemies, and Mario uses that ability to help him get hundreds of collectible moons to power the Odyssey. My favorite is the Pokey Bird. I've heard him described as the Flingy Bird, but he pokes to get that flinging done. His name is even Pokio. Dang, that's adorable. I love this game.
Are you done?
I think I've done it.
Now just say the final incantation as defined in the ebook.
Thank you, Morgana, for your help, inspiration, everything.
You're welcome. Go get your monster. And be careful. Bye!
To everyone that stopped by, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by liking it and subscribing. Links to stuff is in the description, and the theme of the last video was voice controls of video games. And that's gonna do it for me this time. This has been Officer Dan, reminding you to take it easy.